was doing a song for our Easter sunrise service, and I had to find something, and I wanted something different. I locked into this song that I found on YouTube, and I had never heard it before, and you may have never heard it before either. So I want you to just put this in context and take the story in, because this is the Easter story that I've heard all my life, but never this way. It is the Easter story told through the eyes of Peter. And I had never thought really about how the disciples felt when the disciples went through the fear of being taken away and persecuted because they had befriended Jesus. And then the guilt that the disciples felt for having distanced themselves and denied Christ. But then the hope of the resurrection and the glory of being loved. So it's all told in this story through Peter's eyes. So as I sing this, please think that this is Peter. This is not me. The gates and the doors were barred, and all the windows fastened down. I spent the night in sleeplessness, arose at every sound, half in hopeless sorrow and half in fear the day would find the soldiers breaking through to drag us all away. Just before the sunrise, I heard something at the wall. The gate began to rattle and a voice began to call. I hurried to the window and looked down into the street, expecting swords and torches and the sound of soldiers' feet. But there was no one there but Mary, so I went down to let her in. John stood there beside me as she told us where she'd been. She said they'd moved him in the night and none of us knows where. The stone's been rolled away and now his body, it isn't there. Well, we both ran toward the garden and John ran on ahead. We found the stone and the empty tomb, just the way that Mary had said. But the winding sheet they'd wrapped him in was just an empty shell. How where they'd taken him was more than I could tell. Something strange had happened there, just what I didn't know. John believed a miracle, but I just turned to go. Circumstance and speculation couldn't lift me very high, 'cause I'd seen them crucify him and then I watched him die. Back inside my house again, the guilt and anguish came. Everything I'd promised him just added to my shame. When at last it came to choices I denied, I knew his name. So even if he was alive, it wouldn't be the same. Suddenly the air was filled with strange and sweet perfume. A light that came from everywhere drove shadows from the room. Jesus stood before me with his arms held open wide. I fell down on my knees and I just clung to him and I cried. Well, he raised me to my feet, and as I looked into his eyes, the love was shining out from him like sunlight from the skies. Guilt and my confusion disappeared in sweet release. Every fear I'd ever had just melted into peace.